We're not voting for anything other than our existence at this point.
Right.
HR 2749, which by the way, I have all the criminals' voting records about this. This is a bill that actually gives our government control over our entire food supply.
That's right.
By the way, yeah, can you imagine the government owning your ability to eat? It did pass, at least through the House. Here's the thing about this. There's another one. This is S787. This gives the government the right to actually own and take away your ability to access water. Now, I'm not sure about you guys, but I need both food and water to live. These are both illegal.
It's all control.
It's all about control. It is not about voting at this point because nobody represents us, the people. Now I'm not going to take anything away from what Chad has spoke. This man knows the Constitution. Believe it or not, I never read this stuff other than what I had to in high school, 1978. The only thing, 10 months ago when I saw the writing on the wall, I started reading the political side of my life. I stayed out of it like most of you guys did. I voted, but I stayed out of it. I didn't read anything. I didn't participate in any level. I never would have shown up here. I would have read about it maybe. What I found is something very interesting. My background is basically science, but my passion is philosophy. This country was not founded politically. It was founded on a philosophy of life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness. It's a philosophy of freedom, and that's it. It's a philosophy. What I found when I was rereading the Declaration of Independence, which, by the way, precedes in authority and time the Articles of Confederation and the Constitution, the authority of this country rests in the people, not even we the people. The people is each of you independently, yet together. That's the way it's written. It actually says when one people, meaning the collection of individuals, wants to get away from the tyranny of another, things have to occur. And that's where we stand today. This is not a political problem, folks. This is not a party problem. This is about America being taken away on a philosophical level from the people who actually have the only authority in this country. Let me put this into perspective. God, or the Creator, creates man in this country. That's where it actually says, by the Creator, we have our sovereignty. Man, in his first creation, institutes a government that we choose to institute. That means that we are not employing Washington. We are God, little g, when it comes to the people in Washington. We are not employing these people. They don't work for us. They're our creation. Moment by moment by moment, they're our creation. At any point, a lot of people ask me, what can we do about it? I'll tell you what, recognize our authority. Recognize our authority. That's it. We can't vote anybody out. We have to recognize that we are God, little g, when we reference our government, because at any point, we can abolish it at any point. Not 2010 elections, 6 months from now. We can, if it gets to be a true point of tyranny, we have to pull together as the people and cancel their order. Be done with it. None of these words are mine, by the way. It says deriving their just powers from the consent. The consent actually was a written document that we put together, the states did, the state's representatives, a document called the Constitution. Right. Now, since they've stepped outside of that consent, which is our contract, that contract has been voided.
Right.
That's the thing, is that we no longer have a legal government.
That's right.
This is actually very simple stuff for a guy that's never read it until 10 months ago. And thank God I have Chad on my side, because he's the one that needs to actually explain what that means. We have never, there is not an expiration date on the Declaration of Independence. we're going to probably have to default back to it at some point. The Constitution now is irrelevant, but in reality, legally, we default back to the Articles of Confederation, which actually default to the state sovereignty.
Yep.
I'm not talking 10th Amendment, I'm talking state sovereignty, because the 10th Amendment is in the Constitution, which has been voided, so we cannot talk about our constitutional rights, because in theory, we don't. By law, we don't. So, I don't know what else I can say. My talent was my ability to cover 800 miles. That's really what it was. The fact that I'm worried about my grandkids, I'm worried about my son and stepkids, I'm worried about the future, and these pigs are stealing the future, and they don't care.
Yeah.
They don't care at all.
That's right.
So always look at, I'm gonna close with this. I was at the town hall meeting 2 weeks ago in Sycamore, Illinois, and Don Manzullo, our representative, was there, and we actually videotaped Don Manzullo. He's a nice man, don't get me wrong. I asked Don Manzullo if the health care bill was even constitutional. I said, don't talk to me about all the minutia of the bill. Tell me whether or not it's even legally binding by the Constitution or even constitutionally. He said no. Oh. So why are we talking about a health bill when it's not constitutional? That's the point, is everything they're doing is outside the Constitution. If we think we have the Bill of Rights to protect us, we don't. Because that was voided many years ago. So the scary part is either the people rise up together as the people, because we the people is part of a constitution that really is irrelevant at this moment in history. That's really the truth, which is why they laugh at us, because we talk about constitutional rights when they know that it's irrelevant. Now, but the answer is, what happens if the people rise up and do what they need to do? Guess what? All the documents already exist to go back to a clean system. We don't have to make up anything new. They're already here. So, on that note, I'll bring up a guy that actually might say Kurt is wrong.
Well, I will tell you, one of the great things about the country, one of the things that we've forgotten is we can have disagreements and debate things out. That's how you come to a good solution. Kurt and I see kind of eye to eye like this a little bit. But that's all right.
Marty Feldman type eye.
Yeah. He's my buddy, and I've told him some of the things I disagree with him on, and look at him, he doesn't have any ill will towards me. That's the way it's supposed to be, but it's not anymore, right? So I'm going to go off one of the things he talked about, which is what can we do when Congress is...
Thanks, everybody. I'm out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you.